The New Orleans Saints are back in California for joint practices with the Los Angeles Chargers. Welcome back to The Dot, presented by Matt Bowers Auto Group. I'm Brooke Kirchhoff alongside Nick Underhill and Mike Triplett at Newport Beach. And this is the first time the Saints have been back to Costa Mesa since 2019 when they went on a 3-year stretch, 2017, 2018, 2019 with the Los Angeles Chargers. And I'm sure Dennis Allen looks at those records, those winning records when they won the NFC South title, 17, 18, and 19, hoping to have that same luck this year.
Yeah, I think DA probably more looked at the forecast and said we're going back to Cali because it is beautiful out here and they're going to be able to get good work in. And the thing we've seen throughout the whole entire training camp, when they go inside, the intensity goes up. When they go outside, they're just getting through it, and there's really no other way to do it. I think there's some value in having those really hot practices. But, man, being out here in this atmosphere, I think we're going to see some really, really good work this week.
Yeah, and dismiss any notion that they're on vacation just because this place is gorgeous.
Yeah.
We're not on vacation either. We're working hard. We just wanted to show it to everybody. but it's about getting good work in. It's about getting more reps in. It's about getting quality reps in. And it's about getting them against another team, which they're going to do twice this year because that's something we know Dennis Allen values.
Right. It's not just that the weather is nice. It's the fact that the Saints don't have to take a ton of water breaks during practice. They can have a little bit longer of a practice period. And as Sean Payton mentioned in 2019, they're not having to really battle the heat in practice. And that's really been the focus for why they're coming to California is, look, we want to get in good work and against a good team. Now, some of the things that Dennis Allen said we are going to be seeing is a lot of situational work. One-on-ones are back, a lot of red zone, third down, and 2-minute drill. What can the Saints get out of those practices?
I think they can get a ton out of them. Like, I think there's more value in all those reps. You're going against a different cornerback. Like, if Mike Thomas and Marshawn Lattimore are going against each other every single day, they're going to learn each other's tendencies. Someone's going to be able to cheat a little bit. Like, there's that element of surprise that's a little bit more natural that you get in the game where you just don't know how to read somebody's body language every single time. I think we get a better evaluation of the pass rush. We're going to see how Trevor Penning blocks against different guys. All of this stuff I think is highly important. It's better work. And then you can simulate some of the stuff that's going on. Like, we heard Derek Carr talking about how the defense calls out their plays before they're even running their plays. Like, so they aren't going to have those cheating looks anymore. Right. So it's just a realer, more true evaluation after being against the same people for weeks and weeks.
Yeah, Derek Carr's made that joke so many times that I know it's not a joke anymore.
Yeah. No, he's serious.
He's like, he goes, with gritted teeth. But he's like, he even said he was asking Drew Brees about that. Did they used to call out your plays before you? But he said that makes it harder in practice. And maybe that's why it made it look so easy against the Chiefs.
Not only going up against a different team, but a new offensive coordinator in Kellen Moore, who is now with the Chargers. What do we think maybe he's going to throw at this team?
Well, a different look, and I think it's probably better for the Saints. Shout out to Joe Lombardi, nothing against him, but like they'd be going against the same exact offense, so the same issues you had before, you'd be going against again. Kellen Moore is really, really creative. I think that they're going to get good looks from him. It's going to be modern stuff. Like, you're going to be going against motion and all kinds of different things that's, kind of on trend with the NFL right now. So I think it's high-quality work for sure.
He's going to be throwing Justin Herbert at him is what he's going to be throwing at him. And Nick and I talked about this on the members-only podcast. That you can't replicate that. There's 4 or 5 elite tier quarterbacks, 5 or 6 elite tier quarterbacks. They're going to face one of them. He's going to be the best quarterback they face all year, including the regular season probably. And there's no replacing the value of that.
It's a unique week too because, as I mentioned, Dennis Allen said one-on-ones are back. I think this Saints secondary has been fantastic this training camp, but the real test is going to come up against some really talented wide receivers that the Chargers have.
Yeah, and different styles of receivers too. It kind of reminds me a little of the Mike Thomas, Chris Olave dynamic. Rashid Shaheed, if he were here. Keenan Allen is a pro. He knows every route. He runs them all perfectly. He's a little more physical too, and then they're going to have to face some speed too, and they're going to be going against Austin Eckler, one of the best pass-catching backs in the league. So they're going to get all the variety that you could want from an offense.
I think, too, seeing Derek Carr, look, I'm not sure what the rules are as far as what Dennis Allen and also the head coach Brandon is going to, with the Chargers, what the rules are going to be as far as who can hit the quarterback or what the pressures are going to look like.
They won't hit quarterbacks.
They won't hit them, but how the pressures are going to look a little bit different. We've seen Brian Brzee really come through as a really strong rookie for the Saints. Is he going to have the opportunity as they do have the pads on for both practices, as we've seen from the schedule? Is Brian Brzee going to get an opportunity to maybe take that next step?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a great opportunity for him to just kind of test himself against different people. You can see what he can do, and he can go ahead again, it's just what I was saying before. Like, when you learn how to counter somebody, they're going to learn how to counter back, and it's going to take stuff away. So he's going to be able to evaluate what he can actually do against some NFL competition. I thought he looked pretty good in the preseason game. I think this is a nice opportunity for him to build on that. For us, if the rules are the same in practice, it's an opportunity to actually see the one-on-ones, because you're allowed to get like right up on them. We were the last time we were here, so we'll see how that goes. But I think it's a good opportunity for everybody.
And important to note about these joint practices, we are going to see the ones getting the majority of the reps, which leads me to believe maybe we won't see Derek Carr on Sunday. When Dennis Allen was asked about that, he said, we'll see. What should maybe the expectations be for that game Sunday?
I think Dennis Allen has a plan for what he wants to do in the preseason, but I think him and Pete Carmichael Jr., who you interviewed the other day, were also going on feel a little bit. Mm-hmm. They probably didn't want to just choose a number of snaps and then have that be like 2 drives that ended in a punt. That first drive was so perfect. If they feel like they get good work in these joint practices, I think everybody would feel fine with that being their only live drive of the preseason. If they felt like they didn't quite get what they wanted yet, maybe it'd be different. They'd bring them out this game. But, yeah, I think the odds are, if they get the work they want to get in these joint practices, knowing they have joint practices against the Texans next week too, they might not put them out there.
As we know, too, this is a time when we've seen guys like Alvin Kamara really show up and show what they can do as rookies. I want to take you guys back to 2017. It was the very first drive. Alvin Kamara just wowed everyone. And I listened to an interview with Sean Payton back in 2019. That was still something that was front of mind for him. Take me through that, Mike, that 2017 Alvin Kamara.
Yeah, it wasn't just
Kamara
the first
run.
drive. It was the Saints' first play. 50-yard run. He had already done pretty good in the preseason opener. We already thought he looked good on the practice field, but there's something different about seeing a 50-yard touchdown run on the offense's first play. There was no denying what Alvin Kamara was based on that one play, and history has proven that we weren't just making that up.
Yeah, I don't think we knew he was that special until the preseason games either. The first one, of course, second one hammered at home. Okay, this isn't a fluke. Like, this dude can really play. He was solid in that, training camp, but this is why you play these games. This is why you have these practices. Like, we didn't know because they weren't hitting and trying to tackle to the ground, and then it became like, wait a minute, you can't tackle this individual, and that's what made him special. We found that out in that preseason.
I think in a perfect world, you'd like to see Kendre Miller make those next steps. He is going to be traveling with the Saints. He's going to be working on the rehab with his knee while he's here, and Dennis Allen said he might play Sunday, but I don't necessarily think this is going to be Kendre Miller's spot because they don't want to throw him back out there yet with that kind of new knee sprain. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think it'd be a little bit aggressive to kind of push him for it. If he's ready, sure. But what I heard after the scans was like a week or two.
Right.
This would be a very aggressive week. I don't see the point in pushing him out there. They just signed another running back.
Mm-hmm.
So I would be surprised if we see him this week.
You would love to say that, go ahead because you don't need him right away in week 1. He's a rookie. He needs the development, but they might really need him in week 1 because of Alvin Kamara's suspension.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Again, a lot of one-on-one work, a lot of the ones getting work in California. We're going to be at both practices on Thursday and Friday. The Saints will get a walkthrough, I believe, on Saturday, and then the game will be Sunday. So tune in on NewOrleans.Football for all of the coverage from Costa Mesa.